Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we have a special ranking video. Blah, 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 blah. Don't ask. Okay, so today I have my top 20 NBA players of all time. This is who I think and who I've watched, and based on stats and all of that, who I think are the top 20 best players of all time. And I don't give a fuck whether you agree with me or not. This is what I think. So yeah, let's get on with the video. At number 20, we have Kevin Garnett, 15-time All-Star, fourth most All-Stars, tied for fourth most All-Stars of all time. In his career, he averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds. That's a double-double on 49% shooting. And he was an NBA champion. He won one MVP, and he was just a great all-around big man, one of the best big men of all time. He could score on anybody. And he was great at defense. 12-time All-Defensive Team player. He was amazing on the court, and one of his big factors getting in people's head, the defensive factor, was him being able to get in people's heads and trash talk. Probably one of the best trash talkers of all time, and maybe even one of the meanest trash talkers of all time. He made a grown man cry. It all played into him, and he was just a great NBA player. At number 19, we have Dwayne Wade, the shooting guard himself. Dwayne Wade, amazing player. In my opinion, the best player to never win an MVP. He definitely deserved one. He was a 3-time NBA champion. He went to 13 All-Stars. He was a Finals MVP. He was amazing throughout his career. No matter what you would like to say about him, Dwayne Wade was an MVP, greatest top 20 player of all time kind of guy. In his career, he averaged 22 points and 5 assists on 49% shooting, which is amazing. If you can average about 48, 49 plus in your career, that's just simply insane to me. Just being able to be that efficient with the ball. I mean, it's not simply insane. It's just really good. And so yeah, he was there. He was LeBron's accomplice, Chris Bosh's accomplice. He was there, and he did work. And he was one of the most accurate, athletic players in the league, and he always will be one of the most athletic players in the league. He could dunk on anybody, and even when he did retire in that last season, he still played insane high-level basketball that not many players can play at that age. So that's why he is number 19. Next, at 18, we have Oscar Robertson, Mr. Triple-Double. The first NBA player, I don't know why I said man like that, but the first NBA player to ever average a triple-double in a season. That's pretty insane. In his career, he averaged 25, 7, and 9 on 48% shooting. First of all, that's just insane. To average that high of numbers in every single category, that's another level of greatness. Oscar Robertson was amazing. He was triple-double. He won a ring. He was an MVP, one-time MVP. There's not much else to say about him because I don't know much about him, but he deserves this spot based on his stats. And, this is where he goes. And at 17, we have Moses Malone, 3-time MVP Moses Malone, 12-time All-Star Moses Malone, one-time championship Moses Malone. I don't know why I'm saying this name so damn much, but he was an amazing player for the Houston Rockets. That's basically to sum up what I have about him. He was an amazing player. In his career, he averaged a double-double, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Just great player. I mean, there's not much else to say about him except he was a great player. while winning 3 MVPs and 12 All-Stars. That's just crazy. The reason he's not higher is I don't see him ranking higher than anybody else on this list. I just have the itch that I can't put him higher than anybody else because everybody else, I think, has accomplished more, and it's just simply, when it comes down to it, better than Moses Malone. At 16, we have Steph Curry. He revolutionized the game to what it is in a three-point juggernaut league. Now, if you can shoot the three, you are a good player. Well, I'll take that back a little bit. But basically, he has changed the league to look way more different than it ever has. He's a great player, amazing player. He has 3 NBA championships, 2 MVPs. I will say he is nothing short of amazing as a player. It was hard for me to put him higher than anybody else because he has so much left in his career. But he's here, and he's here because he averages 23 points per game in his career. Amazing. On 47% shooting. That's also great. And with all the threes he shoots from behind the arc, he knocked down 403 threes in a season. That is simply insane. 403 threes to knock down in a season. And he shoots 43% from beyond the arc. That is also nothing short of amazing. 90% from the free throw line. Not many people can do that. He's just an efficient shooter from wherever you give him. If you give him a shot, you better be able to regret that because he's going to make you pay 9 times out of 10. At number 15, we have Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greatest big men himself. Well, he was also very unathletic, which is why he is so low, because, unathleticism is kind of not helpful in this league, but it's okay because he won championships and everything for his team. He's a 14-time All-Star, 1 MVP, 1 Finals MVP, 1 ring, and he was efficient. Like that fadeaway, can't do nothing about it because he's going to make it almost every time. And he was a 20-point and 7-rebound player in his career, which is pretty damn good. It is really damn good. But he was also part of the 50-40-90 club, which is one of the hardest clubs to get into. That is insane. That's 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. All those amazing stats. And that's why he's number 15. At number 14, we have Kevin Durant, KD himself. Number 7 on Brooklyn. Great player. Great player. Never. I mean, he's a 2-time champion. He's won an MVP. I mean, he's self-explanatory. There's nothing much I can say about him except that he scores 27 points per game throughout his career, which is freaking insane. That is insane. While he's shooting 48 or 49% from the field, like, having those numbers is just simply insane. It's just one of, if not the greatest scorer of all time, because he can score anywhere he wants to. It doesn't matter if someone's draped on him or not, he can score on you. And having him on your team, you're going to get a lot of points every single time because he is going to be able to do whatever he wants around any kind of defender. It doesn't matter who it is. And, that's why he's number 14. At 13, we have Karl, the mailman Malone. Yeah. Okay, so great player. He's second all-time is scoring with 6,000. I'm not even sure. He won 2 MVPs. The reasons he's not higher is the fact that he was horrible in the playoffs. He went to the playoffs every season of his career, never won a championship, and yeah, that's basically why he's so low. But he was an amazing player, 25 points per game in his career, and he's just a great player. And He would have been probably way higher on this list, like top 5 maybe, if he just knew how to play in the playoffs, but he does not, or he did not. So, yeah, that's why he's here. At number 12, we have Jerry West. Okay, this is such an old head type player, but I had to put him on here because he is literally the NBA logo. And he won a Finals MVP, even though they lost the Finals. And he won a ring. And he's a great player. You cannot take that away from him, that he is a great player. I don't know what else to say about him because I don't know much about him except for he was an assist leader at one point. He went to 14 All-Star games, and he averaged 27 points per game throughout his career. But other than the fact that he won the Finals MVP and lost the Finals in the same year and is literally the NBA logo, that's why he's here, and that's how much I know about him, other than just looking at his stats. But yeah, I do believe that he deserves this spot. Next up at number 11 is Wilt Chamberlain, the scoring machine himself. In his career, averaged 30 points per game and 23 rebounds. Jesus Christ. 30 points and 23 rebounds? He almost out-rebounded his own points each game, and he's a fucking point machine. Like that, I don't know how to cope with that. But the reason he is so damn low in number 11, not in the top 10, is because I believe, first of all, don't believe he's the most dominant center of all time. Yes, he was the most dominant center of his time, but not of all time. There was just no competition, really. That's why he's so low, because there was no competition to stop him from scoring and rebounding the ball, because he was so damn tall and so unstoppable with the way he knew how to score the ball at the time. Way, way, way ahead of his time. But yeah, he deserves being here, obviously, with his MVPs and his championships and averaging 30 points and 23 assists through his career. Or not assists, rebounds. But yeah, that is why Wilt Chamberlain is number 11 and not any higher. At number 10, we have Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Yes, I'm not spelling his last name because fuck that. Hakeem the Dream has his own move called the Dream Shake. He was a great offensive player, great defensive player, amazing defensive player. Yeah, he was just great all around and throughout his career. In his career, he is a one-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's a one-time Finals MVP, one-time Ring Artist, and one-time MVP. And guess what? He did that all in the exact same season. Only player to ever do that. He was insane that season. He is just insane in general. In his career as being a 12-time All-Star, he averaged 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists on 48% shooting. Or 3 assists, 3 blocks. That is insane to have 3 blocks per game just throughout your whole career. That's just simply insane. I know I said it before, but that's just crazy to have 4 blocks, or 1 block, or 3 blocks per game. He's an amazing player, and he is number 10 worthy. At number 9, we have Timothy Duncan, a amazing player, a 5-ring player, 3-time Finals MVP. He is don't know how to talk anymore, but he is a great player. Tim Duncan was the master of bank shots. He led his team to countless victories, and he won championships as easily as he needed to. And Tim Duncan is just, he deserves this spot. And there's nothing else to say except he deserves this spot, and nobody else above him is better than him, and nobody else below him is worse than him. So that's why he's here, and he deserves this spot more than anybody else. At number 8, we have Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Shaquille O'Neal may not have been the best center of all time. he was not the best center of all time, okay? But he was the most dominant in the post when he wanted to be. If he wanted to be in the post and if he wanted to score, he was going to do it in the post because he was bigger and stronger than you. And he would score when he wanted to. Now, based on the fact that he had basically no range and couldn't score from the free throw line, is why he is so low on the list, but he was one of the most efficient players of all time. In his career, while scoring 25 points per game, he also averaged 58% from the field. He took and made shots that he knew he would take and make, or that he knew he would make. He was very, very efficient. He knew what he was going to make, and he was going to take the shots, and he was just simply a beast on the court, and that's why he deserves a spot. At number 7, we have Larry Bird. One of the best small forwards of all time, able to score from anywhere, able to score threes on top of threes while winning MVPs and championship bees, whatever you want to call it. He was an amazing player throughout his whole career. He may not have been the most athletic, but he had eye vision. He had vision and IQ, and he knew where to go with the football. Come on, he knew where to go with the basketball. Larry Bird was a 3-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP. He won 3 rings, and in his career, he was 23, 10, and 6, which is really, really good. He was efficient, and he knew how to score the ball from wherever he wanted to score the ball. At number 6, we have the legendary 11-ring master, Bill Russell. There's a reason he's so low. Yes, he had 11 rings, but as I said with Wilt Chamberlain, at his time there was not much competition to stop him from winning all of them. He was an amazing center, amazing, great player that played for the Celtics, and one of the greatest Celtics. Well, I will say the greatest Celtic player of all time. But the fact that he didn't have, whatever. I'm just going to leave it at that he was the greatest Celtic of all time because he won 11 championships for him. In his career, he won 5 MVPs also, and he averaged 15 points and 23 assists. 23 rebounds. There's that thing again. 23 rebounds along with Wilt Chamberlain. And now he has the Finals MVP award is named the Bill Russell Award. So I think he accomplished a lot in his career, obviously. One of the most achieved basketball players of all time, and he's insane. So, yeah, definitely deserves a spot. R.I.P. At number 5, we have Kobe Bryant, a legend in the making, a future Hall of Famer, the 5th best player of all time, in my opinion. Couldn't put him higher. I wanted to, but I just didn't feel like it was right. I'm sorry about it. He's a 5-time MVP, or 5-time champion, 1-time MVP. Reason he's not higher is because he didn't assist the ball as well. I know that's a big thing, but he really didn't. He didn't assist the ball that well, and he was very inefficient throughout his career. In his whole career, he averaged 44% from the field, which isn't totally horrible, but it isn't that great either. But the confidence was there. If he got the ball, he knew he was going to shoot the ball, and that was just him. But he had court vision, and he had very high IQ. And he very, very much deserves this spot more than anybody else. And yeah, here you have Kobe Bryant. At number 4, we have Magic Johnson, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who could throw the ball from anywhere he wanted to and complete a perfect pass to the guy for an assist. He is the all-time assist average leader with 11 assists per game off of 23 points. He was a great player, could score whenever he wanted, 2-time MVP, some rings around his fingers. just an amazing player. I know he's this high on the list, but it's kind of hard to say much about him because he deserves this spot, and he just deserves this spot, and there's not much to say about that. At number 3, we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time scoring leader, the all-time MVP leader, 38,000 points, 6 MVPs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar! Yes, this guy is amazing. He was amazing. He created this guy hook, knew how to score. Just, that this there's not much to say about him except for the top 2 were a no-brainer. That's the biggest debate in basketball. And this, I can't put him higher. I don't think he's higher, and he just deserves his spot after winning the most MVPs with 6, and also having the most points of all time with 38,000. So, yeah, he deserves this, and no matter what you say, that's not going to change my mind. Man, I don't know who to pick. I never knew how to pick, and it's a no-brainer that these 2 are going to be at this spot, but it wasn't a no-brainer who I was going to pick. And you just got to go off, I just don't know. You look at Michael Jordan and you see his accomplishments, and you look at James and you look at stats, and just everything goes into analyzing, and you don't know. And this was a very, very hard decision, and I will explain why I picked number 1, who I picked number 1 as. But for the number 2 spot, I selected LeBron James. I had to. He is 3 for 9 in the finals, but we're not going to really talk about the bad parts. This man is insane, going on a tear even while he's 35 years old in his career. He's averaged 27 points per game, 7 assists and 7 rebounds around on 50% shooting. He is an insane player. While he's won 4 MVPs, finals MVPs, he's won 3 championships. He's just amazing. He's an amazing player. He's a great player. And forgot to freaking have it click in my brain that he's now the number 3 player in all-time points, and he still probably has 4 or 5 years left in his career. I just couldn't put him over the number 1 spot, and this is him. I'm not gonna say anymore because I can't. I'm lost for words, but yeah. Number 1 is Michael Jordan. There's no way I couldn't put him here. I mean, the fact that it was so hard, but you just look at his achievements. 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs, 2 three-peats, and 6 finals W's. All of it just is crazy. And the fact that he left, if he never left, if you look at his career average, 30.1 points per game, tied for the greatest in NBA history with Wilt Chamberlain, none other. I can't give him. I know he's low on the all-time points list, but it's because he didn't play long as everybody else in the NBA. There's nobody else that deserves the spot. I think that LeBron is so close, but Michael Jordan just has so much more merit to his argument than LeBron James does because of the MVPs and all that. So I gave it to Air Jordan himself. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. If you liked this video, press that like button pretty hard. Oh, wait, no. Don't subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.